The entertainment world erupted into debate after veteran comedian D.L. Hughley reportedly called out fellow comedy superstar Kevin Hart over a controversial joke connected to George Floyd. What began as a routine comedy discussion quickly turned into a heated online conversation about the limits of humor, celebrity responsibility, and whether certain tragedies should ever become part of a punchline. Fans across social media were divided almost instantly. Some defended comedians' right to joke about difficult subjects, while others argued that certain wounds remain too painful for public humor. The controversy reignited a larger national conversation that has never fully disappeared since George Floyd's death shocked the world in 2020. According to viral reactions online, the controversy began after comments linked to Kevin Hart's stand-up material started circulating across multiple platforms. While supporters insisted the joke was being taken out of context, critics argued that any humor connected to George Floyd was automatically insensitive because of the emotional and historical weight attached to the tragedy. The discussion escalated when D.L. Hughley, known for his outspoken political and cultural commentary, addressed the backlash publicly. Hughley reportedly did not hold back. During interviews and online commentary, he suggested that comedians carry a responsibility to understand the pain attached to real-life suffering, especially when that suffering sparked worldwide protests and emotional trauma for millions of people. For many fans, D.L. Hughley's reaction did not come as a surprise. Over the years, Hughley has developed a reputation for speaking directly about race, inequality, police violence, and social justice issues. Unlike many comedians who avoid politically charged topics, Hughley often leans directly into them. That is why many viewers paid close attention when he addressed Kevin Hart. Some observers believed Hughley was not simply criticizing a joke, but warning comedians about the changing cultural climate surrounding comedy itself. In recent years, audiences have become increasingly divided over what should or should not be acceptable humor. Topics involving race, police brutality, and real-life deaths tend to generate the strongest emotional responses. Meanwhile, Kevin Hart's supporters quickly rushed to his defense. Fans argued that comedy has always been controversial, and that comedians should not be forced to censor themselves every time a topic becomes uncomfortable. Others pointed out that Hart has built an entire career on observational humor and storytelling, often touching sensitive areas in ways meant to provoke conversation rather than hatred. Supporters also claimed that snippets circulating online lacked full context, making it difficult to fairly judge the actual intent behind the material. Some insisted the outrage culture surrounding celebrity comedians has become excessive, creating fear among entertainers who once felt free to push boundaries on stage. Still, the emotional connection many Americans feel toward George Floyd made this situation uniquely explosive. George Floyd's death in Minneapolis in May 2020 became one of the defining moments of modern American history. The viral footage showing Floyd pinned to the ground beneath a police officer's knee triggered protests, not only across the United States but around the globe. Millions marched demanding police reform, racial justice, and accountability. The phrase, "I can't breathe," became a painful symbol of injustice and trauma. Because of that history, any entertainment material tied to Floyd's death immediately enters emotionally dangerous territory. Social media platforms exploded with arguments as clips, quotes, and reactions spread rapidly online. On X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, users debated whether comedy should have limits. Some users accused critics of trying to cancel comedians for doing their jobs. Others responded that comedy should never come at the expense of human dignity or collective trauma. The debate reflected a broader cultural divide that has intensified in the entertainment industry over the last decade. Questions about free speech, accountability, artistic expression, and public sensitivity now surround nearly every major comedy controversy. D.L. Hughley reportedly emphasized that comedians possess enormous influence and should understand the impact their words can have beyond the stage. According to reactions from fans discussing his comments, Hughley suggested that George Floyd's death represented more than a news headline. It symbolized a painful reality experienced by many Black Americans. Hughley allegedly argued that turning such pain into entertainment risks trivializing the suffering that millions still associate with that moment. His comments resonated strongly with supporters who believed comedians should recognize the emotional consequences attached to nationally traumatic events. However, critics of Hughley accused him of hypocrisy. Some social media users pointed out that comedians, including Hughley himself, have often joked about controversial topics throughout their careers. Those critics argued that comedy has historically tackled uncomfortable subjects precisely because humor can expose societal contradictions. According to that viewpoint, restricting certain topics entirely could eventually destroy the freedom that defines stand-up comedy. Others suggested that audiences should differentiate between malicious jokes and provocative commentary intended to spark thought or discussion. Kevin Hart himself remained at the center of the storm as media outlets and online personalities continued discussing the controversy. Hart has spent years building one of the largest comedy brands in the world. From sold-out stadium tours to blockbuster films and business ventures, he transformed himself from a stand-up comic into a global entertainment powerhouse. Yet despite his massive success, Hart has also faced previous controversies involving public comments and social media backlash. Because of that history, critics argued this latest uproar demonstrates how quickly public scrutiny can return, even for celebrities with carefully managed images. Entertainment analysts noted that the controversy reflects the increasingly difficult environment modern comedians face.